Yeah, good morning, students. In the previous class, we had a discussion on LC ladder. We discussed that, which is a multi-way conditional branching statement. Now, in today's classroom discussion topic, we are going to discuss about the another alternative statement for this multi-way decision statement is the switch statement. We are going to discuss that. So, which is an alternative for LC ladder, basically. Fine. So, now I would like to share my screen. So is my screen is visible to you? Hope it is visible. So decision making and branching, the switch statement basically. Fine. So coming to the lecture objectives, so this particular session is going to develop the students' knowledge on decision making and branching statements such as the switch statement it is going to demonstrate for you. So coming to this syntax of this switch statement. So the syntax will goes like this. So switch is a keyword basically. Then we will write the expression within the parentheses. This is just like a condition. What we are writing in the conditional statements. So expression we are writing that. So this expression should evaluate to either an integer result or a character constant. Okay, it should be a character constant or it should be an integer value. Fine. So based on this expression value, if it is value is 1, expression value is evaluated and its value is equal to 1, then it will match with this case label value 1. Then the block of statements which are given here, it will be executed. After that we are executing the break. So break is another keyword which is used in every case label, so that if you want to execute only the matching case label, if you want to execute only the matching case label, then every case label should end with the break statement. Otherwise, if you omit this break statement, the behavior of the switch will be in a different fashion. Okay, but use of break statement is optional, it is not mandatory, but if you omit this use of break statement, the execution behavior of the switch will be different. Fine. So unmatching case labels are also be executed if you don't use the break statement for every case label. Fine. So now coming to this, if this expression is evaluated to the value 2, then it will matches the second case label, and then this block 2 will be going to be executed. After executing this block 2, break is executed. Once you execute the break statement, the control will be exited from the switch statement. Then it will come to the statement X. Once you exit from the switch statement, so this is a closing brace of the switch statement and this is the opening brace of the switch statement. So once you exit, so the control will come to the statement X. Fine. So if this expression is evaluated to a value which is not matching with value 1, value 2 and so on, then it will execute the default case label. This is what we are calling it as a default case label. Fine. So it will execute the default block and then break, it will come out of this switch. Fine. So the default case label is executed if the switch expression value is not matching with any of these case labels. Fine. So this is what we are calling it as a switch statement syntax, and its flow chart. If you see here, the right side, you are able to see the flow chart here. So the switch expression here, if it is evaluated to the expression value is equal to value 1, it will match with the case label value 1, it will execute the block 1. If the switch expression value is matching with the value 2, then it will execute the case label value 2, which is a block 2, it will be executed. So like this, we have these multiple case labels we have, and then we have the default case label, that is nothing but no match. So this expression value is not matching with any of these case label values, value 1, value 2 and so on, then it will execute this default case label. So then default block will be executed. After that, the control will come to the end of this switch statement. So in any of these case labels, after completion of execution of this case labels, again the control is coming to statement X. So this is what the flow chart for this particular switch statement is basically. So the expression is an integer expression or a character value. Fine. So the switch expression must be an integer expression or a character value. So value 1, value 2, or the constants or constant expressions which are evaluated the result of this expression. Fine. So which each are known it as a case label basically. Each of these values should be unique within the switch statement. So block 1, block 2 are the statement lists and may contain 0 or more statement. Every case label will end with a colon. So if you see that case value 1 colon will be there here, colon will be there, default is also here, we have a colon. So every case label is ended with a colon. So when the switch is executed, the value of the expression is successfully compared against the values of value 1, value 2 and so on. So if a case is found whose value matches with the value of the expression, then the block of statements that follows the case are executed. So the break statement at the end of each block signals the end of a particular case and causes an exit from the switch statement, transferring the control to the statement X following the switch. So the default is an optional case. It is not mandatory. It is an optional case. So when this default case is present in the switch statement, it will be executed if the value of the expression does not match with any of the case values. So if it is not present, no action takes place. If all case labels are failed and the control goes to the directly to the statement X. Fine. So this is what the behavior of execution of the switch statement basically. So fine, coming to this example, okay, so what this switch statement is going to do here. So if you take one example here, so let us consider an example of a grading of the students in an academic institution. So the grading is done according to the following rules. This we already discussed regarding the LCF ladder. So we are proposing the solution for the same problem using LCF ladder. So that we have seen how we can propose the solution using LCF ladder. So same problem how we can handle or solve with the switch statement that we are going to discuss here. So if average mark is 80 to 100, we are associating the grade with honors. So that means if it is greater than, if marks is greater than 79, then grade is honors. Else if marks is greater than 59, so 60 to 79 means if it is greater than 59 first division, so if it is greater than 49 second division, if it is greater than 39 then third division, otherwise the failed division. Fine. So this is the solution what we have written already by making use of if else ladder. We have written that. So same thing we can code with by making use of this switch statement. You see here. So when we are writing the switch statement, the condition here, whatever we are writing, the expression should evaluate to some particular value, single value it should be there. So for that particular purpose, what we are doing here is that we are normalizing that marks basically. So by dividing with 10, so marks is divided by with 10. So we are going to get some index. So if it is 8, 9, 10, so that means 100, 80 to 100 basically. So then grade is honors, then break. If the marks index is 6 to 7, 60 and 70, so we are associating grade equal to division and then break. So this is what the scaling we are doing here based on this particular the mode of the switch expression here. The switch expression should take either the integer value or a character constant. That is the reason. So we are changing that conditions into an integral values basically. Fine. So 8, 9, 10 for all these three cases you are executing the same block of statement. This is how you can write. For the case label 7 and 6, for these two case labels, you are executing this particular block, grade equal to first division and then grade. So this is what how you can write the block of statements for a particular case label, or more than one case label also you can write like this. So if it is not 4 case label, it is not matching, then the default case label which is equal to fail, grade is equal to fail, that we are returning that, and then we are printing the grade and we are coming out of that. So this is the solution what we are using here, basically using switch statement we are writing that. So where the switch statement is often used, basically it is used when we are making use of a menu selection. So for example, you take this is a menu, we are printing that travel guide. So where A indicates that air timings, T indicates that train timings, B indicates that bus service, and X to stop. Enter your choice. Then we are reading the character from the keyboard. So get char, unformatted input function. So based on this character, the user has inputted A R, T R, B R, X. So based on that, you have to perform the respective action. So if the character the user has inputted is A, so case A. So please observe that we are enclosing that character constant in a single quote. If this is the character that user has entered, then it is matching with this case label. Then we are calling air display function we are calling. If it is B, then bus display function we are calling. If it is T, train display function we are calling. Other than A, B, T, then we are simply displaying that no choice, invalid choice we are displaying, and we are exiting from this switch statement. This is how the selection of a particular item from a menu can be done by making use of this particular switch statement. So there are certain rules we have to follow when we are making use of this switch statement. The rule is that the switch expression must be an integral type of expression, fine. And second rule is that case labels must be constants or constant expressions. Case labels must be unique. No two case labels have the same value. Case label must end with a colon. Okay, not semicolon, it will end with a colon. So the break statement transfer the control out of the switch statement. And the use of the break statement is not mandatory, it is optional. That is, two or more case labels may belong to the same statements. So the default label is also optional. If present, it will be executed when the expression does not match with any of the case labels. So there can be at most one default label. Okay, more than one it is not possible. So the default may be placed anywhere, but usually placed at the end. The default case label can be placed at anywhere within the switch, but usually it will be placed at the end of this switch. So it is permitted to nest the switch statements. That means one switch statement can be enclosed within another switch statement. Nesting, just like nested if else, you can also nest this switch statement. So these are the certain rules we have to follow when we are making use of this switch statement. Fine. So this is a reflection spot here. So this is the question for you. So multi-way selection can be accomplished using an else if statement, or the other statement what we can use to handle this multi-way selection is, anyone please tell me? It is with switch statement. Fine. So else if ladder you can use, or switch statement you can use that. Fine. So elbows are revisited here. So this session will develop the students' knowledge on decision making and branching statements such as switch statement. We are making use that. So summary of this session is that, so in this particular CDT we had a discussion regarding the switch statement. So we finally discussed about all the conditional statement. So simple if else statement, nested if, else if ladder, and then switch statement. So these else if ladder and switch are alternative statements we can use here. So totally these are the 5 different types of conditional statements we discussed in this particular C language. Fine. So lecture outcomes are goes like this. After completion of this session, student will be able to develop the C code using the conditional statements like a switch statement or else if statement we can use in developing the C code. So this is a lecture level practice problem, and this is very important problem. You are asked to develop a simple calculator which performs the basic arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and if you require modulo you can implement that. So you have to read the two operand values, and then you have to read an operator which you want to perform. Okay, so operator you have to read, and operand also you have to read, operands also you have to read, and then perform the given operator on these operands and display the result. Fine. So this is what we are calling it as a basic calculator. So you have to develop the code by making use of the switch statement. So any doubts you have in this particular session? So if you don't have any doubts now, I would like to stop my session. So thank you one and all.